you can see that that is solved for y. That says y equals negative 4x plus 12. All right? All substitution is substituting what you have right there in for y of your second equation. All that is substituting that first value because it's solved for y. It's already solved for y. You substitute that first value in for y into your second equation, y for y. All right? So when you do that, you're going to have a 2x
plus negative 4x
plus. Now, anytime you substitute that in, make sure you put parentheses. Okay? Anytime you substitute that equation in, make sure you put parentheses. All right? Because that'll help you out a whole lot. So from here, well, from here you're solving. Remember, our objective is to solve for x and y. Okay? So for right here, all we have are x's. So we can solve for x right here. That's what we're doing. So now negative 4x plus a positive 2x gives me what? A negative, this first 2x plus a negative 4x. Negative 2x. All I'm doing is adding that together. Plus 12 is equal to 2. Okay? From here, I'm minusing 12 from both sides. Because we're getting x by itself. Sorry, let me slow down. Here, you're solving for x. You divide both sides by negative 2. Okay? Now that we have solved for x, we need to solve for y. We need to know what y is. Okay? Because remember, these are system of equations. These two lines. We're trying to find, first of all, if they intersect. And if they do, we need to figure out at what point they intersect. What is the x and y? What is their solution? Okay? So now you could substitute this x value into either one of those first two equations. Whichever one you feel is the easiest. Now, to me, looks like the first one is the easiest because it's already solved for y. So if I substitute that x value into that first equation, I see an x. So what am I going to substitute in?
5.
Good. All right. So negative 4 times 5 gives me a negative 20. And this is going to give me a negative 8. So my solution would be written as 5 and negative 8. For here, that first equation is already solved for y. Okay? It's already solved for y. So all we need to do is substitute the equation that it has solved for y in for y into our second equation. Put the lunchbox up. I don't even know why you we're not in the cafeteria, bud. Okay. Alright? You substitute the value that it has solved for y in for y. Alright? So, whenever you do that, I got 3x plus 4. Make sure when you substitute these values in, these equations in, make sure when you substitute these equations in, you put them in parentheses, okay? That'll make your world a whole lot easier. Harley. I don't need that. Okay? So what am I going to substitute in? Not 2. 2x. Guys, when it comes time to Now, to finish that, go ahead and write down your equals 11.
So what you should you like top?
Okay. So, go ahead and work this out. That gives you an 8x.
So it'd be 1.
That gives you 11x.
X equals 1.
If you divide both sides by 11, you get 1. Okay? Now, which equation would be really easy to figure out why?
Wait.
If I substituted the x in, the 1 in for x into my first equation, heck, it already gives you your answer. Okay? That gives you 2. All right? So your final solution is going to be 1, 2. Your main objective is to solve for x and y. Okay? Doesn't matter if you solve for x first or y first. Doesn't matter. It does not matter at all. It'll all be. You'll work out. If you work it out correctly, you'll get the same answer. Now, just looking at this, okay, I can see that first equation looks like it'd be pretty easy to solve for x. All I would have to do is add 2y to both sides. Okay? If I added 2y to both sides, boom, I'm already done. I'm solved for x. Okay? So, let's go ahead and do that. Let's get that first equation solved for x. So, I'm just going to rewrite it down here. Okay, so I'm going to add 2y to both sides. X is equal to 2y minus 3. Now, since I've solved for x, I can use this equation and substitute it in for x into my second equation. Okay? Corbin and Harley, hush. Okay?
You already changed it?
Wait, would it be like
Oh, no, you didn't.
For x into my second equation. Now make sure when you substitute that in, you put parentheses. So I got 3 times x. I see an x, so I'm going to plug in a 2y minus 3. And then I'm going to write the same, whatever the equation is, whatever's left over. Just write the same thing down. Okay? All right? Now from here, you're solving for y. You need to go ahead and distribute this. All I did was distribute it. Okay?
Didn't you like add 9 to 24 real quick?
So then I'm going to add 9 to both sides.
It's 33.
Okay, you're combining your like terms. You have a 6y and you have a 5y. Go and add that together. You get 11y. And your last step to this is divide both sides by 11. Awesome. Pay attention, please, man. So now that we have figured out our y value,
Does that say 6y?
6y plus 5y is equal to 33, yeah. Now that we have figured out the y value, you need to substitute what you have figured out into any one of these first 2 equations. Okay? Doesn't matter which one at all. You can use either one. Looks like to me, looks like the first one would be pretty easy. If I substituted that 3 in for y, that'd be pretty easy. Okay? So from here, I'm multiplying. And the last step is to add 6 to both sides. Yep. Okay, that leaves you with the x equals positive 3. Now, so your solution would be 3, 3.